Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live, Delia Omar. I'm here to talk about Pastor Pekin. Pastor Pekin, where they control Gbolahan. Pastor Pekin, where they control Gbolahan. You see, we're going to talk about many things. Today is a Monday, so I'm not preaching, but I'm going to talk a bit about Bible. I'm going to talk a bit about Christianity. I'm going to talk about intimacy. And I'm going to try to keep this within 45 minutes because I'm still coming back for my American audience. Oh my goodness. Hey. Shey na today I get booking. I be na tomorrow. Hey, Mutidaron, 20th. Hey. Too much stress. Too much stress. Too much stress. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome. One of the conversations that I like us to have is, where is the morality in today's church? As a pastor's daughter, this pastor, this girl papa, go they tell other people say me they not bench before marriage. Abi her papa no go they tell people say me they not bench before marriage. Please help me understand because it's like I'm a bit slow. Your papa they tell other people make them not bench before marriage. You they control the lollipop. John said the pastor's daughter is not the pastor. I want to read Bible for you. Can somebody help me with Bible? Who can read Bible? I want to read Bible for you. Dele, can you read Bible? Anybody that can read Bible, I want somebody to read Bible for me. No, John. That's not what the Bible says. That's why I want somebody to read Bible for me. Dele sings. Come and read Bible for me. Dele. Where are all my regular Bible readers? Remy, come and read Bible for me. I need somebody to read. If I read it myself, and I go talk, say that if please don't go put them inside Bible. I just need somebody to read this for me. Remy, God will bless you abundantly.
DF.
Yeah?
I came in like 5 minutes. I'm in bed. I need to get up and...
Okay, here's what you're going to do for me. You will read this Bible for me in bed like this. Then you go and wear cloth and come back.
Okay.
So that. Can you go to the book of 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 12?
Okay.
1
Says
Timothy chapter 3 and verse 12.
a deacon must be faithful to his wife.
Stop. A deacon must be faithful to his wife. And what else?
And he must manage his children and household well.
He must manage his children and his household well.
Those who do well as deacons will be rewarded with respect from others and will have increased confidence in their faith in Yahushua.
Amen. Remy. Now, this thing you read, explain it to us. Those of us that are sitting back at the back of the class, explain it to us.
So, I mean, what it means really is that a deacon, not even a pastor, must be faithful and must be able to control their children, must, manage their family, the marriage, the household completely well. They must be disciplined.
These are the two instructions that Paul gave to Timothy concerning deacons. Then in verse 13, what did Paul say again?
Those who do well as deacons.
Those who do well, what are the things that they expected to do among the other things?
Be faithful to their wives and manage their children well.
Will be respected.
Yes, they will be.
So this girl's father, I am not using Quran. I am not using 6 and 7 books of Moses. I am not using Ayelala. I am not using Ifa. I am using the Bible. Remy, please judge this matter. Judge it for me. Leave the Peking. Let's judge the father. We are still going to throw away this Bible.
Well, I mean, what it means is that he failed.
Finish.
He failed.
He's supposed to step down. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't know which Bible school these comedians go to. He's supposed to take a step back. And the worst part is he is preaching like they all preach, no benching before marriage. I swear to God, if it was my daughter's free nation and my daughter was in a, how do they call it? Mutually exclusive relationship. Even if they judge me outside, free nation people will not judge me inside. Because I don't teach people that people who are engaged to be married or in serious relationships cannot bench. And what's the, so if I tell you can bench now, it's only missionary I approve, Abi. Please, Remy, explain it to me. If Remy, you meet me now, come and meet me. Daddy Freeze, I've met this guy. He's so nice. He's so caring. He loves my kids. He pays attention to me. He smells good. He looks good. He talks well. He's everything I've looked for in a man. Daddy Freeze, he has proposed to me, has bought me a ring. Can I sleep with him? And I say yes. What does that mean? According to your understanding, Remy, please explain it to me.
I mean, what it means is we can go the whole 9 yards. We can do everything.
Finish. That's it. So the question is not the girl, because I don't know the circumstance of this tape. Because you need to understand that if me and you are in a mutually exclusive relationship and I like camera, gone are those days when people they off light the bench. If I like to record and I record, then me and you can't quarrel tomorrow. And I release the picture. Have I sinned? Sorry, have you sinned? These are the precarious. Remy, go and wear cloth. I need you today more than all this one that you are doing. I need you fully in the house.
TF, I've been to the gym today and I'm just exhausted, but I'll go get dressed.
Even if you don't want to get dressed fully, just wear wig or something that you can look manageable. Make we just, because I need to communicate this thing with these people. Because a class is not comprehensive if we don't talk about things properly. You see,
Just 2 minutes.
You see, one of the biggest problems we have, I say this all the time, of all the religions, where I don't see from my life. The one we get mumu pass, now this our own. The highest level of stupidity, you go find them, because it is a comedy skit. It is a joke. You have no idea. I was talking to Vic today. Make I bring Vic, even if it's for 1 minute. Make I bring Vic. Vic go to study Talmud. Now he said me, say, Baba. Now this thing they Talmud. I say, you don't know. The part where he quote for me, now even the Jerusalem Talmud. The Jerusalem Talmud is even mild. Have you read the Babylonian? There are two Talmuds. The Jerusalem and the Babylonian. Jerusalem was written around 400 CE. The Babylonian was around 500 CE. Now, you need to understand what the Talmud is. When I say bench, what do I mean? Let me bring J-Lo. J-Lo, I need you to also join me. Today we are doing class. When I say bench, what do I mean? Kodam, J-Lo, when I say bench, what do I mean? God bless you. If you are not a member of my class, and you have never heard that word before, and you watch a Daddy Freeze teaching 50 years from now, and Daddy Freeze says, husband to the bench him wife, how will you interpret it? You see, the Old Testament, the interpretation of the laws of the Old Testament is in the rabbinic Talmud. The Talmud is where the rabbis sat together and discussed the laws, debated the laws among themselves onto how to utilize the laws. So if you start to study the Talmud today, 10 years from now, you never study and finish. The thing long, because now rabbinic debates on the law. Now them get this law. So I want to explain something to you here, so you can understand why of all faiths now I will not get any sense. Have you heard this thing that Christians say, that we are no longer under the law of Moses, we are now under grace? Now I want you to go to Google. I'm taking you to the Talmud now.
Really? Let me get my glasses.
Make we read small Talmud today. I want you to type Sanhedrin 59a.
SAN.
Yes.
DRIM. That is
Yes.
San. Say it again.
Sorry, hold on.
Just 1 minute. Let me get my okay.
Okay, so I want you to read Sanhedrin. San.
Okay,
S-A-N. Hedrin. Then put 59a.
I'm seeing the option of 54B.
59a.
59A.
Is Remy ready for me? I need Remy here today. I go teach you now many things. And I go learn. Now two people go. This now deep. I want to enter all these things where I don't tire. I say I know they teach you now deep things.
Okay. I'm there. If you're ready, then I read.
Okay. I want to see if Remy is ready. Remy, are you here? We are going in hard. So we are going to work very hard to understand this. So what did you see? Start reading.
The Jamara challenges.
What is the Gemara? Please go to Google and type Gemara. We will learn everything today. Remy, what da? I define you.
Okay. Let me screenshot this. Okay.
Remy, today I'm to fine. As in, you are effortlessly fine. To bá tiẹ̀ fi effort sí o ṣì máa fine. Kó wá lọ ṣe makeup. Kó wá lọ ṣe kọ́nà. Kó wá lọ ṣe eyelashes ẹyin jú. O máa ti fine jù. Wọ́n máa jí ẹ gbé lọ ni.
Thank you.
Tó bá fine jù bó ṣe fine lọ wàhálà ni. Wọ́n máa gbé ẹ lọ ni wọ́n ò ní rí ẹ mọ́.
Beautiful Remy, good evening. Good evening.
Do you understand what I've been saying to her? Sorry, I forgot that you're not Yoruba.
Yes, I speak Yoruba too.
Oh,
I speak.
The other day, I thought she was just picking her words.
I speak Hausa, I speak Igbo.
And you find and you get sense and you still not get husband. No more waiting men they find self.
Oh God, that difference.
No, you cannot be this fine, this hardworking. You can speak all the languages. You are useful. You know, go better for men. That now you now Simplific. What did I say? I said me and Simplific were talking about this earlier on today.
No, there are two different things. If you say and you know get husband, as if I was never married.
No, what I'm trying to say is men are so useless. How can they see you and not marry you? Then they go and marry Olori Bruku that will be beating them inside house.
They freeze up everything when they cast me online.
Oh yeah, no vex. It just they pain me. Say you too try. If I get husband now, I carry you go give now this night. We go do the wedding this night. You know, we'll reach tomorrow. I know they like make good fine girls they waste. Sorry, Remy. Welcome. So
now the first place, can you spell that Jamari again? Or you want Remy to search for that?
Yes, Remy will search for it. So you just keep Sanhedrin 59a open. So Remy, we are reading the Talmud. Now, what is the Talmud? Remy, please, I beg you, Google Talmud so that everybody can understand what Talmud is. So, this is how we do scholarly reviews. We are coming from a scholarly perspective. Shebi Remy, you used to hear your pastor say you are no longer under the law.
Yes.
That you are now...
Yes. Under grace.
What does Daddy Freeze teach you?
You were never under the law. Yes.
Now, I teach you that you are never under the law. I want to explain it to you why you were never under the law. So because Remy,
we are right.
So Remy, I want you to read what is the Talmud, because I want to take you inside Talmud now, and I want you to understand me and Simply Vic did this. So what is the Talmud?
Okay, so the Talmud is the comprehensive written version of the Jewish oral law and the subsequent commentaries on it.
Oh, God, we bless you. No need to go any further. We'll take it bit by bit. No, they rush on, Remy, because this thing are long things. So we are going. So the Talmud, somebody say, is not all about fine all the time, but character. I guarantee you, both of these women here have character, and they can't get fine join. Fine are the icing on the cake. The whole cake sweet. If you pick only the icing, you still walk, but the whole cake still sweet. Even the tray where they put the cake on still sweet. If you don't see cake chop, they give you the tray of Remy or J-Lo. Carry and go house. They use and chop bread. You go still okay. Everything set. They are complete. So Remy, take that part again. I want you to read that part again. My trousers don't tear, sha. Get the way I go sit carelessly now. People go, they see waiting and not supposed to see. Please, help me, Jare.
The Talmud is the comprehensive written version.
What do you understand by comprehensive?
It means
the total.
Yeah.
J-Lo, the way you are going, you will get husband this night. I'm enjoying you. The total. Right? So the total of what? Remy, read for me.
The Jewish oral law.
The Jewish oral law?
Yes. And the subsequent commentaries on it.
So what is the Jewish oral law? If you don't know, just please go to Google again and type Jewish oral law.
Well, I'm guessing it would be the laws of Moses.
The laws of Moses. So the Talmud is the compilation of the oral, not just the shortened one that you find in the Hebrew Bible, or the MT, that's the Masoretic text. This is like this is where the law is brought forth. Then the owners or the custodians of the law explain the law. Right? The owners is like Yoruba people say, there is a proverb. Let me give you a proverb. Adìẹ funfun kò mọrẹ lágbà. What does it mean literally?
White fowl does not know itself as the old one.
Explain the meaning.
That's literally.
Explain the meaning.
Well, it just means, someone who is meant to.
So how does the white fowl? What's the white fowl different from the red fowl?
It's because when you normally a new thing comes white, so
you are guessing. For you to get the meaning, you have to go and meet the Yoruba people, the custodian. How did you come across a white chicken does not know it? What's the difference between a white chicken and a gray chicken that you can say this in an analogy that the white chicken does not know it has added age? Because you get waiting they see where they talk that proverb. You get some proverbs where they straightforward. Outi agbon. Can somebody help me with that?
It just means what a mom does, a mother does.
Literally, it means the cotton that the mother shook is the one that the child will sew. But metaphorically, it means whatever the mother is doing, the child will inherit.
Yeah.
If they say, give me another example of a proverb. Yoruba proverb. Ajegbe, a sheep that walks with a dog go chop igbe.
Àgbà kì í wà lọ́jà kórí ọmọ tuntun wọ́n.
Àgbà kì í wà lọ́jà kórí ọmọ tuntun wọ́n. You understand it? It makes sense. An elder man cannot be in the market and the head of a baby will bend because the elder don't know what they do. But you see that adìẹ funfun kò mọrẹ lágbà. You will need to go and meet proper Yoruba people that put that proverb down and say, okay, how did people get here? I'm just trying to explain what the Talmud is. The Talmud is a comprehensive oral law with its debates and its commentaries as they understood it. If you read Remy, John chapter 4, verse 24. Not 24. Okay. Just hold on. Let me go in so I can. I think more like 20. John. I don't go John chapter 5. John chapter 4. I want us to do a deep 24. Yes, not 24. Read verse 21 and 22. 21 and 22.
21. Right, so it says, Yahushua replied, believe me, dear woman, the time is coming when it will no longer matter whether you worship the Father on this mountain or in Jerusalem. You Samaritans know very little about the one you worship, while we Jews know all about him.
We Jews do what?
We know all about him.
Good. And continue.
For salvation comes through the Jews.
So, how can salvation come through the Jews if you do not understand the Jewish interpretation of a law? At this point, I want you to ask me any question. Hit me with it.
I have no questions. Jado, do you have any question?
Now, what do you understand by what I try to bring forth and the Bible verse I try to back it with?
I think what you're trying to say is that you even need, before you talk about salvation, this salvation or the rules or the guidelines guiding salvation, you even need to know the law first. Because if you don't know the law to interpret it, how do you now come up with what salvation is all about?
J-Lo, you are lucky that I'm married though. Now me for marry you this night. You see, I did bad. So it shows that I'm speaking English and you are understanding English. Because ole ole in Spanish and ole ole in Yoruba, now two different things. Yeah. So even though I say ole ole, if you hear them in Spanish and you hear them in Yoruba, now two different things you hear, even though not the same thing I say. So I want to be sure that you understand what I'm saying. So Christ himself said, you Samaritans know nothing about him because salvation comes through the Jews. We Jews know all about him. So now Remy, I want you to read Matthew chapter 23 verse 1. I want to establish something properly so there's no doubt. Matthew 23.
Then Yahushua said to the crowds and to his disciples, the teachers of religious law and the Pharisees are the official interpreters of the law of Moses. So practice and obey whatever they tell you, but don't follow their example, for they don't practice what they teach. They crush people.
It's okay. So explain what you heard.
So Yahushua was saying that the teachers of the Pharisees are the ones that made the law, but then they themselves are hypocrites. They don't follow the laws. They don't practice what they preach.
Very good. Very good. So now I want you to ask, what is the Talmud, please?
I thought we've done that before.
Yes, we did.
I want us to get back to everything, so we have everything.
Okay.
Or, Remy, instead of going there, Google, did the Pharisees influence the Talmud?
They probably did.
I want you to read it.
Okay, the Pharisees
influenced the Talmud. Because the Talmud was written 400 years after Christ, so they couldn't have written it. You understand? The Jerusalem Talmud was completed around 400 CE, that's 400 Common Era, while the Babylonian Talmud was completed around 500, a century later. So
it says, yes, that the Pharisees profoundly influenced the development and the content of the Talmud.
So they influenced it, Abi?
Yes.
What did Christ say about the Pharisees? In Matthew,
they did the laws, but
forget what they do or they don't do. What I want you to read Matthew 23 verse 1 again. There's one part I'm looking for.
Yahushua said to the crowds and to his disciples,
yes,
the teachers of religious law and the Pharisees are the official interpreters of the law of Moses.
So Christ acknowledged them. Then what did he say you should do with them? Continue reading.
It says, obey whatever they tell you, but don't follow the example.
Good. So did Christ say you should obey them?
Yes. What they say.
Read it. We can read it 5 times until we have understanding. It's no rush.
Understanding. Okay.
Remy, take it again at your convenience. He
Yes.
clearly says, obey them.
Yes.
And he used another word to describe them.
Don't follow the
That's their character.
Right.
There's another word before obey. He used a word.
Right. That they are official interpreters of
They
the law
are
of
the
Moses.
official, approved interpreters of the law of Moses. So if the Talmud is the oral law of Moses, which we've come to agree, and the Pharisees are the official interpreters of the law of Moses, right? And Christ acknowledged them in their office as the interpreters. He did or he did not?
He did.
And Christ even said, obey them, but don't emulate them. Right?
Yeah.
So, the Talmud, which wasn't written by the Pharisees, but profoundly based also on their teachings and influence and interpretation, is the... Please, Google again, what is the Talmud? I don't want to use my own words. I want you to get this, because where I'm going, you will understand where I'm going with it.
So the Talmud is the comprehensive written version of the Jewish oral law and the subsequent commentaries.
Okay, so let now explain what you mean by that. In the light of the Pharisees, what you just read, explain it to us. Then J-Lo, you can also explain it.
Please read it again. Once more. Please.
So that it says that the Talmud is the comprehensive written version of the Jewish oral law and the subsequent commentaries on it. So the Pharisees, they wrote it.
They didn't write it. They influenced it. They interpreted it.
Profoundly.
Mhm.
Yes, and they are the main interpreters and they are the main interpreters of this, of the law.
Very good. Now, I want you, J-Lo, to give me your own version of what Remy read and what you understand it by. And anybody in the at home, if you don't understand this, please raise your hand. Whatever it is you need to do, please do it. I want us to be of one accord. Go ahead.
So it seems kind of, before you say something, it just seems like Christ kind of like separated himself from it.
Yes, we can suggest so, but he still told his disciples to obey them.
To obey.
And that is why in Acts chapter 15 and Acts chapter 21, the Jews were still under the law, as interpreted by the rabbis and the Pharisees and the scribes. Daily Sings is asking for a Bible passage.
So even after Christ died on the cross, in Acts 15 and 21, some of them were still under the law.
100%. You did not know? Please go with me to Acts chapter 21. Anything I tell you, if I don't prove it to you, that's why I'm taking it. I can just throw it at you and go and get something done.
Okay, Acts 21.
I want to go there and give you the exact verse. Just hang on a second. I know it's around 20 something. Okay. Acts 21, I think Acts 21:21. Wait. To understand 21, we read Acts chapter 21, verse 20 and 21.
After hearing this, they praised God. And then they said, you know, dear brother, how many thousands of Jews have also believed, and they all follow the law of Moses very seriously. Okay.
Continue reading.
But the Jewish believers here in Jerusalem have been told that you are teaching all the Jews who live among the Gentiles to turn their backs on the laws of Moses. They have heard that you teach them not to circumcise their children or follow other Jewish customs. What shall we do? Or what should we do? They will certainly hear that you have come. Here's what we want you to do.
Stop. Before you read what they want them to do, I want you to give you a bit of a body for this. These are the elders in Jerusalem under James the Just speaking to Paul, because this is when Paul went to Jerusalem. So I just want you to understand who they are talking to. I don't want us to read the whole Bible verse. You can spend your own time, but if there's any doubt, we can read the whole thing. So this is Paul. So I want them to understand who this is. James and the council of elders talking to Paul. So continue reading.
So I guess Paul was preaching grace because he was all about grace, and I'm guessing that James was telling him here that
now there's a bit of background to this. That's why I said Acts chapter 15. In Acts chapter 15, there was an argument about circumcision, and Paul said you don't need it. Barnabas said you don't need it, and then they sent a delegation to Jerusalem. So Jerusalem said, you know what, since you are preaching in Antioch of Syria among the Gentiles, you don't need to put them under the law. But Acts 21 now suggests that the Jews, though believers, were still under the law. Without any ambiguity. Am I playing with ambiguity here?
No.
It's clear as daylight. Now continue reading. I just wanted to give you body of context for it.
So verse 23. It says, here's what we want you to do. We have 4 men here who have completed their vow. Go with them to the temple and join them in the purification ceremony, paying for them to have their heads ritually shaved. Then everyone will know that the rumors are all false and that you yourself observe the Jewish laws.
So who is observing the Jewish laws?
Paul.
Very good. So we are no longer under the law, we are under grace. Anybody that says it deserves a slap. Because the Jews that were under the law were still under the law.
They were still practicing.
They were still practicing the law.
And then it says here that even Paul himself was.
Yes. Why didn't Paul argue with them and say no? Now continue reading. Let's get context.
So 25 says, as for the Gentile believers, that's us.
Thank you, and God bless you.
They should do what we already told them in a letter. They should abstain from eating food offered to idols, from consuming blood, or the meat of strangled animals, and from benching immorality.
So those are the 4. I taught this in the Free Nation like 200 times. These are the 4 laws that were given to us, the Gentile church. So now I've given you a bit of a background. So I want us to now go to the Talmud. You understand what the Talmud is. You understand how it influenced the life of... Now, this book of Acts, was it written before Christ, during Christ, or after Christ?
It was after Christ.
So even after Christ, don't go heaven. They were still under the law. Right?
Yes.
And this law was dictated by the Talmud, by what the rabbis understood the oral law to be, and how they interpreted it, and how they argued it, and how they debated it, and how they, all the commentaries, the comprehensive law is the Talmud. So now that we understand what the Talmud is, can we please go to Sanderin 59a? So every word that you read that you don't understand, I'll ask you if you understand it. If you don't understand it, we will go and put it up to Google. Hope that works.
Works. Okay.
So what do you see when you look at the Sanderin? What does it say about it?
So the Gemara challenges.
Yeah. Wait. Before you get that, where's the Sanderin from?
Is the law of Moses now?
I want you to look at it.
It's from the Torah. Sorry, it's from the sorry.
Just look at it. You can show me your page so I can point.
Talmud.
It's from the Talmud.
Yeah.
You see the Talmud there?
Yes.
All right. So, read.
So the Gemara.
What is Gemara?
I have no idea.
Google it. We're going to.
If I Google it.
So as you are reading it, J-Lo is Googling. So J-Lo, what is the Gemara?
Please, can you spell it for me?
Gemara. Gemara, as you hear it.
Okay. The Gemara is a collection of rabbinical analysis and commentaries on the Mishnah, which is a compendium of oral Jewish law.
Continue.
Together, the Mishnah and Gemara constitutes the Talmud, a central text of rabbinic Judaism. The Gemara provides insight into the legal and theological discussions that followed the compilation of the Mishnah.
All right, it's okay. Remy, of what she said, do you understand?
No.
J-Lo, do you want to read it again or do you want to explain it? Which one can you do?
Gemara is just the collection and compilation, like you said, the whole thing of the Jewish.
Read it again. Read it again. The beginning part is the most
Gemara
important.
Is a collection of rabbinical.
What is rabbinical? Based on the rabbis. Rabbi. Like yes. If I say that the Freeze interpretation, the rabbinical interpretation is the interpretation by the rabbis.
The rabbis.
Okay.
Yes. And commentaries on the Mishnah. Is that Mishnah that I don't know? What is Mishnah?
Google what the Mishnah is.
Anyway, Mishnah. The Mishnah is a written collection of oral Jewish laws compiled around 200 CE. Okay.
So all the Jewish laws, it's like the mitzvah. The mitzvah is also the law. So now the Gemara challenges continue. So we understand what the Gemara is. Any ambiguity? Remy, do you understand what the Gemara is?
Yes.
Is the rabbinic translation. So continue.
But the mitzvah of establishing courts of judgment is a mitzvah to stand up and take action.
Now, wait. J-Lo, what is mitzvah? M-I-T-Z-V-A.
Z-V-A.
Yes.
Is that H?
No.
There's no H.
M-I-T-Z-V-A.
Perfect.
Okay. In Judaism, a mishvah, Hebrew, that is the hyphen Hebrew, and now is a commandment or a good deed. It is a core concept encompassing both religious duties and acts of kindness. The plural form is mitzvot. That's what I saw.
Very good, perfect. So, but the law, the good deeds, the of establishing courts of judgment, is a mitzvah to stand up and take action. Continue from there, Remy.
Okay. And nevertheless, he counts it among the 7 mitzvot.
Mitzvah is a plural.
For mitzvah.
Mitzvah.
Now you can read, please, before you go any further. What are the 7 mitzvot?
Dear, help us out.
Eh?
I'm searching for it.
The 7
All
mitzvot.
Right.
I don't want that. You know, the problem with we is we have ambiguity, and somebody will send me a DM that refers, I don't understand this part. Let it be self-explanatory. Don't worry, we won't waste much time.
It is also known as the 7 laws of Noah. They are a set of commandments for non-Jewish called Noahide, continued outlined in Jewish tradition. These laws believed to be given to Noah and his descendants after the flood, from the basis of what is considered universal morality.
So, according to the mitzvot, there are 7 mitzvot. Let me just help you real quick. I avoid adultery, avoid blasphemy,
Prohibition of murder.
murder. Okay, so you have it, so read it. Continue.
Yeah. So the number 1, prohibition of idolatry, not to worship any false gods or idols. Number 2, prohibition of blasphemy, not to curse God or blaspheme.
Just jump through all of them so that we don't waste time.
So just I should call it, okay, prohibition of murder.
We know what that is.
Of immorality, prohibition of theft, prohibition of eating flesh torn from a living animal, and then number 7, establishment of justice.
Good. So now, Remy, continue reading. So you understand what the 7 mitzvot are. So when you hear the reference, you understand what it is. Please continue, my dear sister.
The Gemara answers, this mitzvah contains a requirement to stand up and take action, i.e., the obligation to establish courts and carry out justice.
That is in the mitzvah. What number is that one that you just read?
Read again. Read
justice. Justice.
Okay. That's number 7.
God bless you. So you are now getting the hang of what they are trying to say. So they are having like an argument or a commentary, and they brought forth the 7 mitzvot, and in the 7 mitzvot they read, you know what they said? Okay, there is one particular mitzvot that is dedicated to setting up courts of judgment over matters. You understand? So are you getting the picture?
Yeah.
Okay, continue from there, Remy. God bless you.
So it also contains a requirement to sit and refrain from action, i.e., the prohibition against doing injustice.
Continue. Now you see some Hebrew, you jump it, and then continue reading.
Right. And Rabbi Yohanan says, a Gentile who engages in Torah study is liable, to receive the fine penalty.
Good. Now, what is the Torah? I want to leave no stone unturned. J-Lo.
The Torah is the law of Moses.
Go. I want J-Lo to read it from the. we are taking each word one by, we must understand it. I want to break it down to you that if Baby Freeze listens to this, he will understand. I want to make it as hey kitty, hello kitty, as basic as possible. So please, JLo, Torah, Torah.
R-A-H. The Torah is the name for the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, also known as the Jewish Bible or the Old Testament in Judaism.
Can you mention the books?
The name of the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, also known as the Jewish Bible of
the Pentateuch. That's another name for it. But just mention the books to see if any of them are written there. Remy, can you help with any of the books off the top of your head?
Genesis, Exodus.
Genesis is number 1.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges.
No, those ones don't pass 5. The first 5.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy.
Finish. Do you understand? Deuteronomy, that's where it ends. The first 5 books of Moses. So Remy, go back to what you were saying. What does Rabbi Yohanan say in the Talmud?
That a Gentile who engages in Torah study is liable to receive the fine penalty.
So I want you to continue so you understand what the Torah is. So continue reading.
So, as it is stated, Moses commanded us a law, Torah, an inheritance of the congregation of Jacob, Deuteronomy 33 verse 4, indicating that it is an inheritance for us and not for them. The Gemara challenges, but if so, let the Tana count this prohibition among the 7 Noahide misvots.
You know what the 7 Noahide misvots are?
Yes.
Good. Continue reading.
The Gemara explains, according to the one who says that the verse is referring to the Torah as an inheritance, this prohibition is excluded in the prohibition of robbery. As a Gentile,
it's not excluded. What are you reading, my love?
This prohibition is included in the prohibition of robbery.
So among the 7 misvots, remember you read the prohibition of robbery, the prohibition of idolatry, the prohibition of blasphemy. Yes. So this particular
immorality.
Immorality. So this particular what are they talking about now? They are talking about a Gentile reading the Torah is considered an offense under the prohibition of robbery. Continue reading it.
So, as a Gentile who studies Torah, robs the Jewish people of it. According to the one who says that the verse is referring to the Torah as betrothed, as the spelling of the Hebrew word for betrothed, mehorasa, is similar to that of the word for inheritance, morasha, in bracket. The punishment of a Gentile who studies Torah is like that of one who engages in intercourse with a betrothed young woman, which is dying by stoning.
Thank you very much. Now, I want to read some more context for you. The Gemara raised an objection to Rabbi Yohanan's statement from a Baraita. Rabbi Meir would say, from where is it derived that even a Gentile who engages in Torah is considered like a high priest, which is derived from that which is stated, you shall therefore keep my statutes and my ordinances, which if a man does, he shall live by them. Leviticus 18:5. The phrase, which if priests and Levites and the people from that region, I don't want to mention their name too much, when they don't begin, they look me.
Yes.
Do they shall live by them is not stated, but rather a man, which indicates mankind in general. You have therefore learned that even a Gentile who engages in Torah study is considered like a high priest. Then the Gemara answers. There in the Baraita, the reference is to a Gentile who engages in the study of the 7 mitzvot. It is a mitzvah for a Gentile to study the halakot that pertain to the 7 Noahide mitzvot, and when he does, he is highly regarded. If you go on and on in the debate, the Noahide mitzvot is for all people. Basic rules that everybody, my darling sister,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
J-Lo,
like
sorry,
it doesn't
J-Lo,
like yeah.
please read the 7, not the 7, read the Noahide laws. Who are the Noahide laws for?
Okay.
It sounds like the laws that were given to us, kind of. There's a mixture of that and just one or two changes here and there.
I want her to read it.
The the Noahide laws, a set of 7 commandments in Judaism, are understood to apply to all of humanity, not just Jews. The Talmud interprets the stranger in the laws to refer to all Gentiles who accept these commandments, and Jewish law grants social and theological rights to those who abide by them. The 7 laws are seen as universal ethical guidelines for all people, according to Jewish tradition and some scholars.
Okay, now I want you to Google, according to the Talmud, who is the Torah for? So we understand the mitzvot. That's the law from Noah. Now, what about the Torah, the law from Moses?
It's for the Jews.
Specifically for the Jews, to the point where they considered it worthy of buying somebody by stoning for studying it.
According to Talmud, yes, what's the question again? I missed it. Sorry.
Who is the Torah for?
Okay, right. Who is the Torah for?
It's for the Jews.
Very good. So now I want to ask you I want to come back home.
The Jewish people, yeah.
The Torah is for the Jewish people, to the point where they considered it one of the mitzvot of theft, and they tried to even robe it in. Johanna tried it in as even adultery that requires stoning. So according to Johanna, if Johanna saw Remy reading the book of Deuteronomy, Johanna would order Remy to be stoned.
I was just going to ask, so because the Torah are the 5 books, the first 5 books of the Old Testament, so we are not meant to be reading them.
So it's not even supposed to.
No, it's not like we are not meant to be reading them. They are not for us in any way or form.
So is this supposed to be in the Bible?
Now, I need you to now understand why it is in the Bible. It is in the Bible. So the Bible takes a little portion of it that the Bible believes is important for you to know, just so you can have. If you just can't, that there was a guy called Christ, where did he come from? The Bible tries to establish from creation, through Noah, the flood, through Moses and his sojourn in Egypt, coming from Joseph into the wilderness and handing over to Joshua and creating a bloodline all the way down to David, to Solomon, and through Joseph.
Christ said we should listen to what they say.
I have a problem with that we. Who is the we?
No, that they.
They.
Not the Gentiles.
So when a pastor says something as stupid as we were under the law, but now we are under grace. It is the height of unscholarly foolishness. Those that were under the law remain under the law. And those who were never under the law, when coming in apart from the mitzvot, they were given the 4 commandments. And when you are reading the 4, now that you have read this, I want you to go to Acts chapter 15. Now, Remy, before you go there, you are in the mitzvot, Abi. You are in the sundering.
Yes.
I want you to go, just be scrolling out. Do you see? But a mitzvah that was stated with regards to the descendants of Noah was not repeated at Sinai. Do you see that? If you scroll down.
One moment. Right. No. And it's mitzvah for a Gentile to study the halakot that pertain to no. But at least the mitzvah teaches the rabbi. No.
I'm looking for what I want you to read.
So all these don't wear tattoos.
This is where it's properly. It does not concern you. Never concerned you. Now, can you see? If you go back, it says the Gemara asks, "What is the reason behind the opinion of Rabbi Hanina ben Gamliel? Sorry."
Yes. So
read from there.
He reads into the verse. Okay, flesh with its life, you shall not eat. You shall not eat. BLWD, with its life, you shall not eat. The Gemara asks, and how do the rabbis explain the mention of BLWD in this verse? After all, in their opinion, I'll just call BLWD red, okay?
Okay.
So after all, in their opinion, red from a living animal is not forbidden. The Gemara answers, that comes to permit eating limbs from living, creeping animals. The verse indicates that the prohibition does not apply to creeping animals, whose red, in quote, is not considered separate from their flesh. Okay,
Continue.
so the
Baraita
continues. Similarly, you can see that according to the opinion of Rabbi Hanina, red from a living animal is also forbidden to the Jewish people in particular, as it is stated, only be steadfast in not eating red, as the red is the life, and you shall not eat the life with the flesh.
Now stop. Now I want you to go to Acts chapter 15.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, what verse?
Sorry, I'm going there now. I want to show you this. Acts chapter 15. I want you to read from verse 19. So this is, let me give you a breakdown. Some people were preaching in Antioch of Syria, and they said circumcised. Paul and Barnabas disagreed with them. They quarreled and they went to Jerusalem so that they can get an answer to should we circumcise or not. So that gives you the breakdown. You can read it by yourself. And now we're in verse 19. Please read.
Sorry. 19. And so my judgment is that we should not make it difficult for the Gentiles who are turning to God. Instead, we should write and tell them to abstain from eating food offered to idols, from benching immorality, from eating the meat of strangled animals, and from consuming read something.
Continue.
Okay. For these laws of Moses have been preached in Jewish synagogues in every city on every Sabbath for many generations.
When you hear that, it sounds a bit vague. But when you study the Talmud and you see how they are debating this blood, this red, you now understand why it is of so much significance. Do you get it?
Yes, I do.
Any ambiguity?
None.
Okay. So when somebody tells you that you are no longer under the law, you are now under grace, it is an embodiment of foolishness. Because those who were under the law continue to be under the law, and those who were never under the law were never brought under the law.
But Paul brought this. This is all Paul's fault.
We know. So, you see, when you are in a wholesome church gathering like the Free Nation, some Bible verses now begin to make sense. Let me give you a Bible verse.
Yeah.
What I understand
Go ahead.
about all this is that they just pick a verse.
When I say no Nigerian pastor understands scripture, this is what I'm talking about.
That allows your situation at that time. Just that verse, and so have it.
They cherry pick.
Now,
So
I want you to read
They don't. Yeah.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 17. And what you have read today, use it to explain it. And I can guarantee you've heard this verse many times, but for the first time in your life today, you understand it.
Makes sense.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 17. Let me read it. J-Lo interpret it.
It says, "Don't misunderstand why I have come. I did not come to abolish the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets. No, I came to accomplish their purpose."
J-Lo, explain it.
So this is Christ talking.
This is Christ talking.
Yes. Christ talking like, okay, you already have this law guiding you. I'm not deleting it. Let me use that word, delete. I'm not deleting it completely, but I've just come to establish. Will I use the word establish?
He himself is the fulfillment of the law.
The fulfillment of the law.
Does not mean that those who were under the law would stop practicing the law.
We stop practicing it. Yeah.
You've heard this before, and it has never been properly explained to you because they don't understand anything. They are just a bunch of riffraffs coming after your money. So next time a pastor comes to you and says you are no longer under the law, remind him that you never were under the law, and that those who were under the law continue to be under the law.
Okay, me, I have a question.
Go ahead.
When you finish, I have a question too.
So the laws for us, the Gentiles, right? There are 4. Okay. So
Plus the 7 mitzvah. 7 mitzvot.
Which is
okay.
general.
General.
Yes, even for the Jews themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So the immorality. What is considered immorality? Because benching before marriage is not exactly a sin if you're doing it with someone that you intend to marry.
According to the Talmud,
Yes.
is not a sin. Is not expressly the consequence. If me and you are engaged to be married, but we are not officially married, if I bench you, the problem is, here's where the problem arises. On the wedding day, there will be no blood. So I can claim, I can decide to play a fast one on you and say you are not a V
And cheat. Okay.
and have you stoned.
Right. Yes, in this time.
Yes.
Explain what benching immorality is in at this time that we're in.
Okay, as a rabbi that I am not.
Watching that girl
Uh-huh.
playing with
Yes.
that microphone.
So this
You watched it.
Yellow sent it to me.
Yeah,
So
so many people message me.
so what is benching immorality? According to the Talmud,
Okay.
and to the Torah, benching immorality was, there's the milder form that is unchastity. Say you dig bench, you never marry. And the penalty for unchastity is you marry. And then there is adultery. When you sleep with somebody else's wife, both of you must be put to buy. Unless you sleep with her outside and it is believed that she screamed but nobody came. Thank you very much.
Okay, can looking at another woman or another man.
Matthew chapter 5.
What guides do now?
Matthew chapter 5.
You look and say,
Go to Matthew chapter 5. Go to Matthew chapter 5 and read Matthew chapter 5 and read from verse 27.
You have heard the commandment that says you must not commit adultery. But I say, anyone who even looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart.
So, me looking at Remy and imagining, oh wow, this Remy will be sweet, Sha. I've done it. I don't need to send Remy a DM. I've done it. I don't need to send J-Lo a DM. I don't need to say hi to J-Lo on Facebook. The fact say I don't see him. And J-Lo did there, they shake the thing we follow and come for back. That she's enticing me and I'm looking at it is already adultery.
So watching those women, those girls that shake their something
is adultery. You can't run away from it. We are all guilty. Anything that you look at that ends in quick, they glossy, or Gbolahan, they rise. Now adultery. Normal you day.
You watch that rouses you.
Finish. Finish.
J-Lo, begin to confess thy sin.
When I watch it, I was like, oh, that's my own.
You can watch it for scientific purposes. You can watch it for learning purposes. You can watch it so that you use it to learn to be better in your own marriage. But the lines are so blurry. Because when you watch them, you feel just see the girl, Bobby, just the bounce. Just say, this Bobby sweet to go, nice to chop. Adultery.
Vic said there's no proof of that to be seen. Says it disagrees with the biblical premise.
Now, the thing is, there are two messages. There's the subtle message and then there's the big message. The subtle message is you are all sinners. No matter how hard you try, nobody knows your thoughts. You understand? True. Me, because I follow a lot of girls who are celebs, and because they show their Bobby and my algorithm is messed. If I scroll 10 pictures, if one Bobby or one quick will show. You understand what I'm telling you? And sometimes you just find yourself zooming. This thing no bad though. You zoom, you don't sin. So what is Christ trying to say? in a small way that you are sinning every day. Don't feel too morally upright with yourself. Don't be quick to judge another person's sin. You understand? Because both you will look the thing, zoom am, and you will rent the hotel, bench the woman. You've committed exactly the same thing.
Dear, what about actors who act these things? Our Nollywood, some of our Nollywood actors that act like the pretend.
I wish. You see, if you understand that Islam was also based on the Torah,
Yes.
if you understand the Islamic prohibition for actors, you will have an understanding of what even Christian actors should not do. You can't kiss somebody on a set.
Hey.
You can't. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to say. Okay, let me lie to you. You can. You can't act a benching scene. You can't. You can't. I'm sorry. But it's a very big sin. You can't even show your body. But you see, the argument now is, in an evolving world where we live among people who don't believe in our mitzvot, people who, but you see, at the end of the day, out of the 7 mitzvot, even most of them are observed even by pagans. The only one that they don't observe is the animal, anything that has to do with animals. You shall not buy. There's no country on earth that allows you to buy people unless it is war.
Yeah.
There's no country on earth that allows you to steal. There's no country on earth except the idolatry, for instance. The lines around idolatry are blurry, and most Western countries encourage you to do anything you like, including idolatry. But most of the mitzvot are actually things that human beings practice even without being Christians or Muslims.
Yeah.
It's an act of kindness.
Not be religious.
Thank you. So when you now get to a point where you have to make a choice, in this situation, what do I do? It is hard for me to tell Remy not to wear revealing clothes when she lives in a country where everybody else wears revealing clothes, and where there has been a communion of understanding that even if a woman walks past you without a single piece of clothing on, you have no right to touch her. There's a rabbinic argument in the Talmud about when small pikin, when the bencham, say the small pikin na Gentile, na that small pikin na him tempt man of God. It's one of these debates like the one we read today, because it's in the Talmud. So the interpretation of right and wrong, the concept of right and wrong is very vague. So when you say what is benching immorality? Personally, I don't believe if you touch yourself, it is. The only problem is when you are touching, what are you thinking of? That's where the problem is, not the touching. If Remy is thinking of Vic and touching, it's a problem. If J-Lo is thinking of Daddy Freeze and touching, there is a problem. It's not the touching. Because if you think of doing it with another person, you have already committed the act.
Unfortunately, you cannot touch without a picture in your head.
Good. So it now brings us to the question: what do we do in a world where everything has been bensualized, where your hormones are raging and you are helping yourself? Now, is it preventing you? Are you getting relief? Baba, if woman day 7 months, they never bench am, you guess she go dey behave. Especially when that ovulation comes, she go just, her brain go just dey touch.
And then the wicked pass.
You understand? So am I going to sit down here and tell her that if she does it, she's going to go to hellfire? From what moral ground am I going to sit and say if she does? I'll tell you a story.
But dear, will God understand that? If we are supposed to have self-control as people, are we not supposed to pray and ask Him for strength?
Is that what we were taught, or that's what we are supposed to do?
I mean, because okay, that's what.
Is there a clear example? What are you quoting to me? Are you quoting a scripture that says you cannot do it? Or we are assuming that we shouldn't do it because the Bible says do not have intercourse with another person. The Bible does not say do not do it with yourself. There's nowhere where it says it. Maybe I've not read it. Maybe you can point it out to me.
No, the Bible doesn't say so.
Good. So if the Bible doesn't say so, why are we reading a meaning? You see, if you look at the argument of the mitzvah, the Talmud, there were two positions. Johannes was saying, may they buy them. The other person, I've forgotten his name, I was saying, no, they are priests. Two people reading the same text. It is unfair for you to choose Johannes because you don't like the Gentiles. Neither is it fair for you to choose this other guy, what's his name, because you are a Gentile and it favors you. The question is, if it doesn't say it, why are you choosing the worst possible scenario? You are sounding like Johannes now, that says they should go and buy them, that by reading the Torah they have committed adultery. That's how you're sounding.
No. I'm just asking a question here. If I'm not even making a statement.
But what I'm trying to say is, since the Bible did not say it, could that have been a loophole? As long as it's not an addiction, as long as it's not something you do every day, 4 times a day, could that be your loophole to letting out your steam? And I wanted to tell you a story. There was one day I preached this thing when I first started Free Nation, and I was hot like fire. And I said, never do it. Never do it. Don't touch. And one girl called me up. She said, Daddy Freeze, very, very painful cycles. And somebody once told her that if she can achieve the CUM during her cycle, that the pain will end.
Yeah.
She said it's not possible. So she now tried it and it worked. She now asked me, said, Daddy Freeze, that is what she has been doing almost every month once the pain starts. And it has worked 8 out of 10 times. She's now asking me, so Daddy Freeze, should I stop? Because I want to sound like Johannes now. the morally pure, the one who believes that Gentiles who study the Torah should be stoned. Right? Or love your neighbor as yourself. If I were a woman in that level of pain, would I want the succor of something that will reduce this pain? And I was tested a week later. And I was tested a week later. A girl called me up and said that she has this problem since she was a kid, that she rolls on the floor for the first 2 days of her cycle. And something inside said, tell her to try this. I don't know what we talked about, and we just got into that conversation. And I was like, have you ever tried it? He said, no, God forbid. I said, why don't you try it? If it doesn't work, then. That girl called me and said it worked. That Daddy freeze.
It works for any kind of pain, to be honest, because
that Daddy
when
freeze.
you do it, it releases a certain kind of, I think, endorphins or something, and then that numbs the pain.
So we now come back to the conversation. Are we being like Joanna? Or are we being, are we looking for? There was another part that, I'm not sure if this was Joanna too in the Talmud, where they were talking about that line around the, so okay, there's a Bible verse that says, outside the city, dedicate a place where people can go and poo, and everybody should have a shovel.
Yeah.
And then there is a verse that says, on the Sabbath, nobody should go outside the city. So, one of the rabbis, or a set of rabbis that were very pure, on the Sabbath, they know they go toilets, they go hold on. Then once they ring the bell, everybody go run enter bush. But then the scribes and Pharisees had another idea, a more humane one. They drew a line around the city, including the bush where the toilet was. So as long as you don't cross out of that line, you have not broken the law of not leaving your city during the Sabbath. So the question is, we have a set of laws. How are you interpreting them? Are you interpreting them in the worst possible manner? And that brings us to Colossians chapter 2, if you read from verse 20. And I end here.
You know, I have a question too.
Okay, Colossians chapter 2, verse 20. Let Remy read.
It says, you have died in Christ, and he has set you free from the spiritual powers of this world. So why do you keep on following the rules of the world, such as don't handle, don't taste, don't touch? Such rules are mere human teachings about things that deteriorate as we use them. These rules may seem wise because they require strong devotion, pious self-denial, and severe bodily discipline, but they provide no help in conquering a person's evil desires.
So all these things, don't go to the toilet on the Sabbath, don't do this, don't touch this, don't, it may seem wise because it involves pious self-denial. It involves all these things, but it does nothing. So there's always a humane angle to every law. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if something is relieving your pain, why should I tell you not to do it? Because I'm the great Daddy Freeze? Over to you, J-Lo. I'm ending. I'm still going to come back later to gist.
What I want to say is not really a question, but about us or them being under the law and now under the grace. Okay, I'm just wondering, why is it that even being under the law or not under the law, they select it? If it is, they pick some things that were still under the law and leave some.
That is the stupidity of Nigerian pastors.
So that is why I'm like, okay, if you're even saying we are no longer under the law, why do you have to say, oh, don't do this? Some will still tell you, don't do this. Some will say, okay, you can't do this.
Let me tell you, anything between Genesis and Malachi does not concern you except for historical value, except for allegorical value, except for anagogical or moral value. It does not concern you. It is not written for you. It was never intended. At a point, people would buy you if they saw it with you. So the fact that they are cherry picking it still shows their wickedness and stupidity. Something will not concern you, go the one way select you inside.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So did Christ actually bring grace? Did his dying bring grace? And is there grace? So does that mean that some people, be under grace if there is grace, whilst some can operate under the law?
Here are my thoughts. Before Christ came, the Israelites were subject to the law of Moses. They had courts that were based on it. They had a whole system, as you have read, that was based on it. Now, you couldn't be saved from sin except you went through a cleansing process. And when Christ came, he became that sacred lamb. He became the lamb of the Passover, through whom grace can be obtained. So yes, there is grace. And the law cannot make you right with God, according to Paul. But as a Jew, you were under some constitution, and that constitution was the law. It's like, let me explain it to you. In Nigeria, we have a constitution. If you obey the constitution, are you going to go to heaven?
No.
Good. That constitution is the law upon which their society is based. It is through Christ and the teachings of love that you can now ascend. The law is what the Jew, till today, they don't celebrate Christmas. Till today, all those holidays that were in the ancient times are still their holidays. Till today, they don't work on the Sabbath. So the law is necessary for them because it is their customary regulation, their tradition. But will it take them to heaven? No. Or, because that is now even still debatable, through the grace of Christ, love takes us all to heaven. Because Christ said in Matthew 25, 31 to 41, that when he comes in all his glory, and he's going to gather all the nations, whether you are Jewish or you are Gentile, and what he's going to look for is how much love you showed during your lifetime. So at the end of the day, grace brought the Gentiles under God. Grace gave the Jews the opportunity to be forgiven without having to buy pigeon, goat, cow, as the case may be. So yes, there is grace. But grace does not mean you pass exam. That's not grace. Grace is the fact that through Christ you have access to God and you have access to the forgiveness of your sins. I'm getting a bit tired, so My brain is a bit slower.
So
Any
all
more
that
questions?
paying of tithes, all that paying of tithes, your offering.
You suppose slap anybody will tell you about tithe. Anybody will tell you about tithe, tear and slap. He has no idea what he's talking about. From where to where? Paying tithe under what? The Talmud that you were forbidden to read? How? As in, give me the how?
Someone is asking a question. He
What?
says, should we say that those under the law did not go to heaven?
No, nobody said that. Because they are still under the law till today. They were under the law in the book of Acts. If they are no longer on the law today, they missed it. Because there's nowhere where Christian Jews were taken away from the law. The law was their constitution.
And the same Paul that was talking about grace, even still
practice the law. So what's he talking about? Paul talk a lot of nonsense. Maybe we leave Paul. Today is a Jew, tomorrow is a Gentile, is a Roman. That's why only he have two names, Saul and Paul. Maybe we leave Paul.
I love today's teaching.
When you come to the free nation, you will understand the difference between Pauline Christianity and the followership of Christ. What you have today that is practiced in Nigeria is Pauline Christianity.
Yeah, someone just said it. So we Nigerian Christians accept Christianity plus their culture.
Yes, now.
Plus the Romans culture, plus the British law and culture. Like, yes, all encompass, yes.
So let me go to bed so that I can have energy. Time don't go.
Thank you for the teaching.
God bless you. Thank you so much, JLo. Thank you. I appreciate your time. And Remy, thank you for waking up from your bed to come and do this. Your efforts are not going to be in vain. Somebody's life was saved today because of this time that you dedicated. And I appreciate it. I wish I had money to pay you people. I will pay you. You understand? Because I want you to be encouraged. Only me cannot. Listen, all these things that we are talking about, these are things that I've known for 7 years. But the energy to teach it, until I find people that, okay, I believe I've built you enough to be able to be recipient to something and not just say, God forbid, and run. At least you will hear me. Do you understand? And when I'm done, if I don't make sense, that's why I say, okay, we will learn every word. What is the meaning of this word? What is the meaning? So it now makes comprehensive sense to us when grouped together.
So most of them are just lazy.
It's not about lazy. They don't even know that these things exist. So when I'm quoting the scribes and the Pharisees, when I'm quoting Christ's reference to them, and I'm taking you to the Talmud, you now begin to understand, okay, this is what they were saying.
Someone is asking, how can I join the Free Nation?
FreeNationChurch.org. Register with us and just join.
The service, the time.
Sunday is our service. And I was talking to Vic today. It's just that these days Vic is always very busy. I would have loved him to even come with us. Daddy Freeze, you are a liar. Jesus Christ said, do not think I have come to abolish the laws. I have only come to fulfill it. Therefore, whoever take away from it will not enter the kingdom of God. I swear to God, now slap you need. I don't need to answer you. I don't even need to curse you. I need to enter this YouTube, come find where you did, for where they do this, your lorry brook, where they do. Make a come tear you, your mama and your papa slap. The two people who sit down together, take burn you, they deserve slap.
Okay.
This thing where you talk, it's like you come at the end of the class with a joint in your hand. Okay, saying Old Testament concerns Christians. Oh, what a fool. Get out here. Get out.
Please, don't come and ruin today's teaching for us on the flow. Don't come and ruin the flow.
If it's over.
Please, you didn't even start. You don't know.
Don't begin. It's for Christians. The Old Testament is for Christians. How? Something that if Joanna caught you with, they will give you stone chop. How is he for you? As is this stupidity? I did not come and read. At any point did I say Christ came to ruin, to tell you to abolish the law? He did not. But it was never for you in the first place. This red thing that Remy is wearing on her head, I can take it from her, right? This watch that I'm wearing, can I take it from Remy?
No.
Because it was never hers in the first place. I can't take what does not belong to you. Now, waiting be your own now if you take. I fit go inside this picture now, collect Remy hair, collect Remy glasses, run. But I can't take this t-shirt from Remy, or this face cap, or this watch, or this microphone. Because it was never hers in the first place. You can't take what was not somebody's own.
Yes.
Baba, let me tell you, where I reach with Christianity, some Christians go begin, they argue like once they begin, they will say that it is. But I say, yeah, you are right. What am I? As in, where do I want to start from? You'll be like somebody where I ask questions, I interview, I say, what is a synonym of indisposed? And the person say, please, what's the meaning of synonym? Where do we start from? Do you understand? Well, if you had said what's the meaning of indisposed, I can understand that, okay, if I give you a hint, as you don't even understand the meaning of synonym. So what am I going? You are right. Please come and be going. God bless you guys. See y'all later.